Everyone, so as I come to the end of a challenge today, I am reflecting on what that challenge has meant to me and the things that I've gotten from it. So today we're going to talk about the power of reflection. So it doesn't matter whether you are a business owner, a clinician, a parent, an athlete, a mother, a father, a husband, or a wife. It doesn't matter what you are or the action that you take. Every action that we take has a life cycle. And if we take the action but don't reflect on it to get the learnings from it, we essentially cut that life cycle short. For me, the more years I've spent running our business, the more I've come to realize that so much of my job is to actually just think and just to sit and think about what I should do next, what we've done and what that has meant, what all the different outcomes are that we've achieved and how we've got to achieve them. I recently had a meeting with our team and I told them that one of the things I want to focus on this year is thinking more. And I think they looked at me and went, What? What a great life this guy has. Just wants to sit and think about stuff. But I've really come to realize that that is such a valuable exercise, particularly if you are responsible for a business, for a group of people, for a team, whatever it might be. The more time that you invest in actually thinking about the meaning of the actions that you take, but also reflecting on how those actions have played out over time, and then really using that information to inform your future decisions, the more value that you'll get out of that time and out of those actions. And so reflecting and spending time thinking is such a valuable thing for anybody who's in any sort of leadership role. So now that we've hit the end of January, I've come to the end of my 31 podcasts in 31 days challenge. And I set myself this goal because at the end of 2023, I missed out on a target that I'd set for myself, which was 10,000 downloads for the podcast. I wanted 10,000 people to download our episodes and listen to it. I know that our podcast is one of those places where people can get a lot of connection with our content, and it's often where people will find us for the first time. So I thought, what a great way to really broaden and expand our reach into the community is through the podcast. So we had this goal of 10,000 downloads, and I missed it by about 900, which was, close, but not quite. And as I reflected on why I didn't get there, I realized that towards the end of last year, we weren't as regular with our podcast releases as we were in the sort of first two-thirds or three-quarters of the year. And so what I thought I would do is front load my effort this year, is put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of work to get as much content as possible in this first month, so that if anything went awry over the rest of 2024, I'll have enough in the bank that we can really move this engine forward and really continue to build the growth of the podcast and the reach of it. So 31 episodes in 31 days was my challenge. I knew it was going to be really hard. I've already have a really, really packed schedule. There's barely enough time to do one episode a week. And I essentially set myself the goal of trying to do one a day for 31 days. So knowing that it was going to be very, very difficult, there was another added layer of coming up with 31 seemingly interesting things to talk about over the course of a month, and being able to find time every single day to sit down and record those, regardless of what day it was or what I had going on in a month of the year where a lot of the time we're trying to enjoy the summer here in Australia, enjoy our family and the kind of Christmas period break and all of that sort of thing. So I knew it was going to be difficult, which was partly why I chose the challenge. I do like the idea of something that seems unattainable, but also because I knew through reflection that putting out more content is a great way to build the thing that we're trying to build. And so now that we've done that and I've hit my 31 and 31 goal, here are some of the reflections that I've had, some of the things that I think I've learned through undertaking this particular challenge. Number one, when you put in maximal effort up front, it buys you breathing space. So if you know that you're going to have a really busy month, for example, and you've got 10 things to do, try to get them done at the beginning. It will give you time in the back half of that month to know that if things go wrong, you've got some breathing space. This plays out over any period of time, months, weeks, years, decades, it doesn't matter. If you work really hard in the beginning, it does kind of buy you some credit for later on. Number two, produce more content for our audience. It's through this content creation that we connect with so many different people in the community, in our healthcare profession community. And it's often the place where people will come up and say, hey, I heard you on the podcast, or I watched your video, whatever it might be. And then they connect with us in a deeper way. Maybe it's through attending a course, maybe it's through mentoring, whatever it is. And they sort of go on this journey with us. And it's such a rewarding experience for us because we get to share more and more of the things that we know to be valuable with these people. But we have to produce something to begin with so that they can connect with that thing. And ultimately, the reflection is the more we produce, the more points of potential connection there are for people to grab onto. Number three, the more I do things, the better I get at them, which improves the quality of my work, which then spills over into every part of what we do. And number four, that doing hard things builds a bank of evidence that we are capable of doing hard things. And that's essentially the foundation of resilience. So intentionally putting ourselves in positions that are difficult for us to push through builds evidence that we are capable of pushing through difficult things. So what do I hope you take from this? Well, firstly, before you take action on something, once you've decided to do that thing, sit and reflect on what are your motivations or intentions for doing that thing. Are they solid? Are they moving you towards your ultimate goal? Or are they maybe based on ego, based on some other metric that's not really relevant to the ultimate thing that you're trying to achieve? And then finally, once you've done the thing, reflect on it again. Reflect on what you got from it, what you learned from it, and how it will pay you dividends into the future. And that's it. 31 episodes in 31 days. I hope you've all been able to find something in there that is of use to you. While I've been recording these, Bo's been also recording some really interesting and deep dive conversations with some guest presenters that we're going to roll out through February. So I'm really looking forward to listening to those, and I hope you are too. I'm going to step back a little bit from the podcast for Feb, but I will be back and have enjoyed this challenge. I've been able to really push my own time management and creative skills through this time. So I've certainly benefited from it, and I hope you have through listening as well. Talk to you again soon.